CO2 gas also effect on the environment in plants and non-living things. Injury of plant leaf. When plant leaves are damaged, and that will cause the decrease in the growth of plant, then damage of monument, statues, building, rock by acid rain. Acid rain also form by the reaction of nitrogen dioxide with water present in the atmosphere, and this acid rain will damage the monument, statues, building, rock, etc. And acid rain also affect on the aquatic life. Then aquatic life, the aquatic animals present. Hello, hello.
सर
Hmm.
त्यो साथीहरूले क्लास रेकर्ड गरिदिनु मलाई कुनै समस्या हुन सक्छ भन्दै थिए खोइ त्यो खबर गरिदिनु भन्दै थिए
I will send slide to CR. And
होइन
when nitrogen dioxide present in the atmosphere, that react with water to form soil, then
सर यही
the
रेकर्ड पनि गर्न मिल्छ के
acid
यसैमा
acid rain decreases the increase the acidity of soil. And when soil becomes acidic, that will decrease the crop production. And acid rain dissolve the salt present in the soil, and salt in the soil like the salt of cadmium, lead, and from this salt, then heavy metals ion like lead, cadmium, nickel ions will pass into water body, and that will make difficulty in the life of the water bodies. And CO2 gas also forms smoke in the atmosphere. When smoke is formed, that will reduce the visibility on the road at daytime. In this way, smoke means mixture of fog and smoke in air, and fog is the fog made of tiny water droplet in the atmosphere. And next, acid rain. The acid rain, how? Acid rain is caused by emission of oxide of sulfur and nitrogen. And when these oxides react with water molecule in atmosphere, then form acid, and that acid will fall on the ground as acid that has pH value less than 5.7. The reaction involved in the acid rains are as follow. For example, SO2 gas reacts with the water molecule in the atmosphere to form sulfurous acid, or SO2 gas react with water molecule in oxygen or molecule along with oxygen to form sulfuric acid. And next is the nitrogen dioxide react with water molecule present in the oxygen in atmosphere to form nitrous and nitric acid. And nitric acid reacts with the water molecule in presence of oxygen to form nitric. In this way, the acids are formed by these oxide in this way. In average, then acid rain is a mixture of sulfuric acid and nitric acid. Then in average, 60 to 70% acid rain is caused by sulfuric acid, and 30 to 40% by nitric acid. In this way, acid rain is formed by reaction between the oxide of sulfur, nitrogen released by human and natural activities, and reaction with the water molecule present in atmosphere and form acid, and that will fall down on the ground of ore. That's called acid rain. And acid rain effect. Acid rain has adverse effect uh, on human being and non-living thing and plant also, and it will damage to the building, rock, historic monument, statue, like Taj Mahal and Kushal temple has been damaged by accident slowly. Then in human, then eye, it isn't to eye and mucous membrane, and that will dissolve salt of soil, and metallic ion will pass into water. When metallic ions are present in water, then difficulty in the aquatic life, and acid rain form will cause the rate of reaction faster, and that will cause a skin disease in the human being, and that will cause especially disease like asthma or chronic bronchitis. And when people suffer from asthma or chronic bronchitis, then the people will be then people will not breathe easily. Then plant leaves are damaged by acid rain. When plant leaves are damaged, then person process will be seized or decreased, then plant will not able to get more food. And in human being, that will cause nervous system is affected and cause the disease with the north, and acid rain will lower the pH value of soil. At low pH value, the crops will not be produced in large amount. In this way, the acid rain cause the decrease in crop yield. And how to control acid rain? Now we can control acid rain, very difficult one, and use less energy. The less fuel should be burned. Then how? By using other energy like wind energy, solar energy, nuclear energy. In European countries, nuclear energy has been used as the main source of energy. In in Bangkok, so many wind energy has been used, solar energy has been used. But in Nepal, the most energy release, will be obtained from the fossil fuel. So main problem is that. And removal of SOx and NOx before release. Then before release, they are to be changed into less harmful substances. SOx gas changed into sulfur, and NOx gas changed into nitric oxide and nitrogen. In this way, from harmful to less harmful, then the SOx gas should be changed into less harmful. In this way, then the industry should be equipped such instrument that will minimize the effect of SOx and NOx by converting them into less harmful materials. Then I will say, and dissipation of the flue gas means, and that is the set of technologies used to remove SO2 gas from exhaust flue gas. When fossil fuels are burned in power plants, then SO2 gas is released, and removal of that SO2 gas from the exhaust gas is known as the desulfurization. And in this way, SO2 gas change into sulfur on treatment with the sulfuric hydrogen sulfide, and SO2 gas change into nitric oxide and sulfur on treatment with the H2S gas. In this way, the more harmful the gas change into less harmful gas by reduction. Or then vehicles are equipped with the catalytic converter. The main function of catalytic converter is to convert more harmful gas into less harmful gas. Not not com- not stop completely, but harmful to less harmful. And reducing the effect of acid rain. Acid rain can be minimized by treating it with the lime. Lime means calcium oxide. Calcium oxide is base that react with acid and form salt and water. In this way, the effect of acid rain can be reduced by treating it with the lime, that is called liming. And organic manure instead of artificial chemical fertilizer. Chemical fertilizer also release these gases. So instead of chemical fertilizer, then we have to use organic manure, compost malt, and natural method to control pests and pesticide. Instead of using pests and fungicide, then you have to use natural method like mulching. Mulching means covering of the soil before cultivation by प्लान्ट प्लान्ट मेटेरियल के भनेदेखि हाम्रो के भनेदेखि यो खेतमा चाहिँ नि फर्स्ट टाइम परालको कुनै पनि घाँस पातले सोच्छ नि हरेक यो माटोलाई त्यो के भनेदेखि मल्चिङ हुन्छ त्यो मल्चिङले गर्दा के भनेदेखि यो के हुन्छ भनेदेखि माटो के भने माइस हुन्छ अनि पेस्ट पनि बन्न पाउन्न नेक्स्ट इज द युज अफ क्लिनर फ्युल भनेको क्लिन फ्युल भनेको द बायो फ्युल that includes ethanol and biogas methane. For example, the liquefied petroleum gas, what we use in kitchen is the mixture of the hydrocarbon. Hydrocarbon mixture means that contain one molecule hydrocarbon contain more carbon, but one molecule carbon contains two carbon. When LPG gas burn, that will give out more carbon dioxide and other gases. When ethanol burn, that will give out two carbon dioxide and less in this way ethanol and biogas. When we and these gases, these fuel will release less emission than fossil fuel. And next is the equip the vehicle with the catalytic converter. The catalytic converter, the main purpose of that is to convert harmful gas into less harmful gas. And next is the ozone layer. Ozone layer is present in the upper atmosphere that extend from 16 to 50 kilometers from our surface that save our life. from the harmful UV rays from the sun. And ozone layer, ozone layer not useful in the lower atmosphere, but lower atmosphere also contain ozone layer. If Earth atmosphere has ENO2 gas, then I will say how ozone is formed in the Earth atmosphere and how ozone is formed in the stratosphere. Ozone is formed in the upper atmosphere by UV rays. Ozone layer protects us from harmful UV rays of sun, which can cause skin cancer. Nowadays, human beings have been involved to destroy the ozone layer by using chlorofluorocarbon that has been used as coolant in refrigerator. And concentration of the ozone layer in the upper atmosphere is about 10 ppm, is less than the UV rays will enter into our atmosphere, and that will cause the skin cancer to human being, and that will damage active life and plant also. Then how ozone layer form in the upper atmosphere? The ozone molecule present in the uh, upper atmosphere on the effect of UV rays seen into oxygen molecule, oxygen atom. The oxygen atom react with the oxygen present in the upper layer and form ozone. In this way, formation of ozone layer in upper atmosphere by photochemical reaction. This reaction is called photochemical reaction. Then UV light helps in the formation of ozone when oxygen involved in this reaction. And the ozone layer present in the stratosphere is good ozone because it saves our life from the harmful UV rays. So this is called good ozone. And next, ozone ozone also formed in the lower atmosphere. How? It is formed due to decomposition of nitrogen dioxide gas by sunlight. Nitrogen dioxide is into atmosphere by human or natural activities. That ozone is called ground level ozone or bad ozone. The ozone in the ground level or atmosphere or troposphere is known as ground level ozone or bad ozone, and it is formed in this way. Nitrogen dioxide in the air in presence of UV light decomposes into nitric oxide and oxygen atom. Then oxygen atom react with the oxygen molecule to form ozone. The ozone is called bad ozone. Why? It attacks cells and breaks down tissue and decreases ability to breathe, coughing, increased susceptibility to respiratory disease such as pneumonia and bronchitis. And long time exposure may result in the permanent damage of leak. According to EPA, European Protection Agency, then 50,000 Americans die every year from exposure to airborne pollutants. And exposure to ozone layer on the atmosphere cause hundreds of acute asthma attack. The ozone layer is not required at the lower level, but only useful at the higher level. But ozone layer also form at the lower level by the reaction of nitrogen dioxide, and nitrogen dioxide is released into atmosphere by human activities and natural activities. And ozone also damages materials like nylon, rubber, certain fabrics. So from these effects, then the ozone layer, ozone molecule, ozone in the ground level is known as bad ozone. Is also called ground level ozone, also called tropospheric ozone, etc. And differentiate between good and bad ozone. Ground level ozone is air pollutant. Why? Harmful to human being and animal as it causes respiratory problem. And upper level ozone protects us from harmful UV rays because that will absorb the UV rays. And ground level ozone present in the troposphere, and upper level present in the stratosphere. And ground level ozone is called bad ozone because of its adverse effect on human and animals. Then upper level ozone is called good ozone because of its protection of human life from harmful UV radiation of sunlight. It also saves the life of animals, aquatic animals, and plant also. And but the ozone layer in the higher level has been thinning due to human activities. That the thinning of ozone layer in upper atmosphere is known as depletion of ozone layer and is caused by chlorofluorocarbon used by human being as coolant in refrigerators. And ozone layer also depleted by nitric oxide released by supersonic jet used by human being in upper atmosphere. The mostly by human activities. Then our ozone layer has been thinning by using chlorofluorocarbon, by release of the NO2 gas released from supersonic jet. And in this way, then CFCs absorb UV rays from sun and decomposes to give chlorine atom. That chlorine will decompose ozone. One molecule of CFC can destroy 10 raised to 5, 10 raised to 10 to the power of 5 ozone molecule. In this way, how CFC absorb UV rays and release chlorine atom by means of this chemical reaction. Chlorofluorocarbon in presence of UV rays decomposes to difluorocarbon and chlorine atom. This chlorine atom is responsible for damaging effect on ozone molecule. Chlorine react with ozone and form chlorine monoxide and oxygen. Then chlorine monoxide again react with ozone and form chlorine again generated. And chlorine, when generated time to time, that is responsible for the damaging effect of the ozone. And chlorine monoxide again on decomposition on influence of UV rays in the chlorine and oxygen molecule. Then oxygen atom react with the ozone to form oxygen molecule. Ozone is not present as ozone in the upper atmosphere. And in this way, depletion of ozone layer by CFC. Next, depletion of ozone layer by NO2 gas released by supersonic jet. NO gas react with the chlorine monoxide in the atmosphere by using CFC, change to chlorine. And chlorine is the most active agent to destroy ozone. And chlorine react with the ozone from chlorine monoxide, oxygen, then nitric oxide itself react with the ozone to form nitrogen dioxide, oxygen. But in this case, ozone has been changed into other gases. If no ozone, then UV rays will be directly entered into our atmosphere and cause harmful effect on the human being, plant, and animals. Now, the effect of depletion of ozone layer. Ozone layer depletion on human health, skin cancer, blood cancer, and breast cancer. Then clouding of eyes, eye cataract. Then breaking of DNA. What happens? You know that. Then plant growth is decreased. You know that. Why plant growth? The plant leaf, and that will destroy the chlorophyll of the plant. If chlorophyll decreased, the plant will not make their own food fast in this way. And next is that human immune system is decreases by ozone layer, by UV rays. Ozone layer when deplete, UV rays will enter and that will decrease the human immune system. Then the human will be attacked by different type of infectious disease. And 20 to 10% decrease in skin cancer by when 10% decrease of ozone layer in the upper layer, then that will cause to increase 20 to 30% skin cancer. And next is the decrease in seafood. The aquatic animals are affected by UV rays, and that will cause decrease in the seafood production. And more than 50% people depend on the seafood for protein. In this way, seafood production will be decreased and effect on aquatic life. And 20 to 50% reduction when plants exposed to 20 to 50%, then chlorophyll content will be reduced. Then chlorophyll content when reduced, then plant will not able to make their own food themselves. Now, how to control ozone layer depletion? Then the most effective atom involved to destroy ozone is that chlorine, and chlorine are seen into next compound by using alkene. Alkene react with ozone destroying chlorine into alkyl halide. Alkyl halide is less harmful than chlorine. And avoid use of pesticide and insecticide. Then application and certain bacteria has been investigated, and that will consume ozone. And you have to apply certain type of bacteria. And the use of hydrogen containing chlorofluorocarbon or chlorofluorocarbon rather than CFC, because these hydrogen containing chlorofluorocarbon will be destroyed automatically in troposphere. So it's less harmful than CFC. And no use of harmful cleaning product like, and use vinegar and bicarbonate. Vinegar and bicarbonate are the non-toxic cleaning product. And different type of chemical has been used to clean the different type of materials, but this should not be used. Instead of these chemical, then use of vinegar and bicarbonate. These vinegar and bicarbonate are non-toxic cleaning products. And no use of ozone depleting chemicals like carbon tetrachloride, methyl chloroform, and halon. They are responsible for depleting ozone, so they are not to be used. Now, particulate matter or particulate, and in simply it's called particulate PM. And in simple form, tiny solid particle or liquid particle suspended in air is known as the particulate matter. For example, dust particle and carbon particle in the air is called particulate matter. And when when particles and gas combined form is called aerosol. Aerosol means combined form of the particles and gas together. Example of natural aerosol are fog, dust, geyser steam. And example of anthropogenic aerosol is haze and smoke. And these are produced by human beings. And how released particulate matter in the atmosphere by two ways, by natural sources and human source. And pollen grains natural particulate matter, dust storm by natural wind, and volcanic eruption. From volcanic eruption, large number of particulate matter has been released, solid and liquid particle. And from gasland fire, then particulate matter released into atmosphere by natural sources. Example, particulate matter is dust, soot, smoke, and dirt. Haze means fine dust, smoke, causing lack of transparency on the earth. Haze means mostly fine dust, smoke, combined form. And when haze is formed, that will cause low visibility on the roads at daytime. And particulate matters have been classified into different types on the basis of size, on the basis of source. On the basis of size, particulate matter has been classified into three types. Coarse particle. Coarse particle ranges in size from 2.5 to 10 micrometer, and fine particles are the particle that ranges in size from 0.1 to 2.5 micrometer, and ultra fine particle are those particulate matter whose size less than 0.1 micrometer. On the basis of sources, the particulate matter has been classified into two types: primary particulate and secondary particulate. And primary particles are the particulate matter that are directly released from the source: dust from road, carbon from combustion process. When we burn fossil fuel or wood, organic matter that will form particulate matter like ash particle and carbon particle. Smoke when released that contain carbon particle, and they are directly released into atmosphere by source. And secondary particles matter are such particulate matter. They are released into atmosphere by chemical reaction between primary particulate matter and other chemical like SOx gas, NOx gas, volatile organic compound, and other chemical reaction between the oxide of sulfur, nitrogen, volatile organic compound, and other molecules. They are not released directly into atmosphere. They will form in atmosphere by chemical reaction between oxide of sulfur, nitrogen, volatile organic compound, and other chemicals in the earth. Size, the human hair has size 50 to 70 micrometer. Then combustion particles, the particle matter released from combustion organic compound and that includes metals. This is less than 2.5. This is very harmful. It is also called PM 2.5 particulate matter. That means less than 2.5 micrometer is known as PM 2.5 particulate matter. And those polygram less than 10 micrometer and more than 2.5. And the fine sand found in the sea beach has the size 90 micrometer. And sources of particulate matter by human activities, the burning of fossil fuels, vehicular exhaust, forest fire, then cleaning activities, then tobacco smoke from cigarette and pipe, cooking, fuel like LPG, kerosene gas, diesel, etc. And chemical from paint and solvent. The paints, when we use, that also release small amount of particulate matter in the atmosphere, solvent also. And use of pesticide also released then particulate matter. Particulate matter means solid or liquid droplet. In this way, how the environment has been polluted by particulate matter, then visibility is totally decreased. In this case, decrease in visibility. And in this case, due to running of vehicle, due to dust particles, then the visibility is decreased. And in this case, the smoke obtained from released from chimney bhatta in the person of the bricks. Smoke contains carbon particle and other particulate matter. How? And these four pictures shows the lower visibility on the road due to particulate matter or air pollutant. The effect on the effect of particulate matter on the human health. Human health decrease in lung function. Lung will not function properly when particulate matter enter into air passages of lung, then person will not breathe easily. So that means lung decrease the lung function. Heartbeat irregularity, then lungs will not work properly. That will cause headache, and the person becomes weak, dizziness, and premature death at early age. People will die. Then, if problems on the lungs, then the people will not able to take fresh air, oxygen, and then people will die in old age in premature death, heart attack, then chronic bronchitis, serious asthma, and increased respiratory system means fast respiration will be occur, and difficulty in breathing. And PM 2.5 particulate matter refers to the atmospheric particulate matter that has diameter less than 2.5. That is most dangerous one. And then in next slide, then I will say when 2.5 into air passes of lung, what happens about that? So ppm 2.5 extremely dangerous since it can penetrate deep into lungs and sometimes into bloodstream. If bloodstream contains particulate matter, blood will not work properly, then that will cause harmful effect on the human being. Now, how particulate matter enters into the body? Particulate matter enters the body through nose and mouth when we breathe. The body emits most of larger particle when we inhale. Smaller particles like 2.5 pm continue in the lung, continue to stay in lung for a long time. So we have to do regular exercise involving in lung. श्वास लिएर एकछिन रोकेर होइन 30 सेकेन्ड रोकेर अनि छाड्दाखेरि के भनेदेखि यो लार्ज पार्टिकल चाहिँ नि निस्कन्छ। स्मल पार्टिकल भनेको गाडी हुन्छ निकाल्न। यस कारण हरेक दिन यो लङको एक्सर्साइज चाहिँ गर्नै पर्ने हुन्छ सबैले होइन। यस कारण 2.5 pm can penetrate deep into lungs and having serious health consequence for lungs and heart. हार्टलाई पनि यसले इफेक्ट गर्छ। यस कारण नै लङ्समै काम गर्ने भने हार्टमा पनि इफेक्ट गर्छ। यस कारण पनि एकदम you have to do more and more exercise in the morning and that then more exercise on the lung, decrease in proportion effect on the environment, decrease in proportion. The leaves, when covered by particulate matter, the leaves, then chlorophyll content in the leaf not exposed, and that will disturb in the photosynthesis process, the food manufacturing process of the plant. So in this way, decrease in proportion. The acidic particulate matter corrode the metallic materials, then reduction of visibility on a seed, then particulate matter also form smoke on the atmosphere, and when smoke is formed, that will cause lower visibility on the road at daytime. Then that will increase acidity of river and stream, and that will damage forest and statue monument, and dull the particulate matter deposited on the building will cause dull appearance of building. For example, is statue covered by covered by carbon particle, then that will cause, that will lead to dull appearance. And how to control particulate matter? Use of non-conventional fuel like gobar gas use गर्नु पर्यो, एलपिजी ग्यास युज पर्यो, सिएनजी किनभने हामीले यो मटेरियल बाल्नु ठाउँमा ठाउँमा एलपिजी ग्यास बाल्ने, सिएनजी भनेको कम्प्रेस नेचुरल ग्यास बाल्ने, अनि गोबर ग्यास बाल्ने, they are non, these gases will emit less emission, less pollutant. यसले पोल्युटेन्ट के भन्ने नआउने होइन, कम आउँछ। जस्तै एलपिजी ग्यास हाम्रो के भनेदेखि किचनमा बाल्दाखेरि तिम्रो किचनको सिलिङमा हेरौँ 8-9 पछि 1 year पछि कालो हुन्छ। And use of clean energy means then wind energy and solar energy छैन नेपालमा wind energy, तर ब्याङ्ककमा, थाइल्यान्डमा के भनेदेखि रिभर साइडमा एकदम चाहिँ विन्ड इनर्जी हालेको हुन्छ, सोलर एनर्जी हालेको हुन्छ, तर यहाँ त सोलर एनर्जी छ तर के भने विन्ड एनर्जी कम छ। एन्ड युज अफ इफिसिएन्ट इंजिन इफ नट इफिसिएन्ट इन automobile, that then that will cause less combustion. Less combustion means release of particulate matter and air pollutants. And use smokeless solar. Then weights cover should be fitted in the instrument. In the that machine should be fitted in the every industry, and the main purpose of that instrument is to moist particulate matter. When particulate matter becomes moist, then heavier that will come down at the bottom of instrument or machine. Then polluted particulate matter can be removed easily. Every industry should feed waste scrubber. The main purpose of that is to moist particulate matter. Then after moistening, then particulate matter become heavy and go down at the bottom of machine and can be removed by regular interval. And plantation of trees and industries should be established away from residential area, but in Nepal, then Patan oil sector and Baza oil factory, and near that industrial cell, so many single state has been within the area has been established. So industry area should be away from another by 50 kilometers or 10 kilometers. And clean energy means energy from sources that doesn't release air pollutant. Wind energy, no air pollutant. Solar energy that will not release any pollutant. And in this way, by catalytic converter, then in this way, harmful gas change into less harmful gas. The oxide of nitric oxide, nitrogen dioxide, catalyst by reaction of ammonia, nitrogen dioxide, nitrogen gas is a neutral gas, inert gas. And in this way, nitric oxide react with ammonia, oxygen in catalyst, then into nitrogen gas and water. In this way, nitrogen dioxide gas react with ammonia in place of oxygen and form nitrogen. And in this way, more harmful to such gases which are not harmful in this case, but we can say more harmful to less harmful gas. the conversion of nitrogen dioxide to nitric oxide is the conversion of the more harmful to less harmful gas in this way. So the main function of catalytic chamber converter is to convert more harmful to less harmful gases. So every industry should manage the fitting of catalytic chamber, and then all the vehicle automobiles should fit the catalytic chamber. That will ensure less emission. For example, two-stroke engine and four-stroke engine in the motorbike. And राजदूत भन्ने two-stroke होइन, अनि हिरो होन्डा भन्ने फोर-स्ट्रोकमा त धुवा कम आउँछ, त धुवा त आउँछ, तर के भने धुवा नआउने होइन, कम आउँछ। के भने हेर के भने साइलेन्सर पाइपमा के सँगै भित्र हेर्छौ धुवा आउँछ भन्नु, त के भने धुवाको थाहा हुन्न, कम आउँछ, त्यस कारण पनि and for that case we have to use catalytic converter. That's all for today. Then after 1 hour, then I will download the slide of this power plant in file. Then you can download all the slide from file button. Okay? Hello?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
मैले के
Okay,
भने
sir.
एक घन्टा पछि चाहिँ यो म्याक्सिमम टिप्सको फाइलमा होइन, फाइल मेरो फाइल छ इन्भाइरोमेन्ट केमिस्ट्री आरइएमएस सरको इन्भाइरोमेन्ट केमिस्ट्री भन्ने फाइलमा हाल्छु मैले एक घन्टा ब्याक, एक घन्टा पछि, अनि के भनेदेखि एक घन्टा पछि यु क्यान डाउनलोड फ्रम द फाइल बटन. फाइल भन्ने के भनेदेखि त्यहाँ जान पाउँछ, त्यहाँबाट ल्याऊ. एनी क्वेसन ल? I think this topic is very interesting one. Then यो टपिक पनि पढ्ने गरौँ है, हरेक स्लाइड चाहिँ हरेक चाहिँ क्लासमा के भन्ने हरेक क्लासको स्लाइड. Then you have to read well. I think the notes, right? Then I am taking attendance, right? Attendance.